I was swapping out these fittings on my new to me Lotus Elise, and as I started taking this panel off, I flipped it around and would you look at that? This bad boy's carbon fiber. Someone has just painted over it with the satin black. Let's strip this bad boy down and see how it looks underneath the paint. 400 grit sandpaper on a DA should make quick work of this black paint. Would you look at that? Carbon fiber. We're gonna sand this whole thing and reveal the beauty underneath. After sanding this down a little bit, I think I can see what happened and why he painted black paint over the carbon fiber. If you look here, you see what looks like scratches in the actual carbon fiber part. Well, what that is that the clear coat that was applied from the factory eventually starts to fail. And when it fails, sometimes it does weird stuff like this. So what we need to do is we need to keep sanding all of this until it all looks like this. Whenever you're sanding carbon fiber, make sure you wear a mask. Now that it's all sanded, a decent way to test to see how your carbon fiber part's gonna look when you clear coat it is to get it wet. Let's check. Hell yeah. Honestly, that looks brand new. That's too pretty. That's not pretty. That's ugly. Let's take off this second panel and fingers crossed it also is carbon fiber. Come on, carbon, come on, carbon. And the reveal is, yes, this is also carbon fiber. Let's go sand this bad boy down now. For our final sanding before clear coat, we're gonna use some of Crisfix's soapy water. And we're gonna use 600 grit sandpaper on that same dual action polisher. Now that both parts are fully sanded, we need to make sure there's no dirt and grease left on the part. We're gonna use some good old-fashioned rubbing alcohol. Yeah, it's looking pretty. Last thing before laying some paint is we need to make sure there's absolutely no dust on the part because this will show through on the clear coat. You can get these tack rags at Walmart. They're cheap, they're like $1, and you can use them for multiple times. Now to finish this job, you can go down to AutoZone and get yourself a can of one of these clear coats. It is not chemically resistant, but it'll make this look decent and it'll last about a year or so. Alternatively, you can go down to your local auto body store and pick up some 2K clear coat. It's called 2K clear coat because it actually has a hardener in it. This stuff is UV resistant and can last up to, I've seen it last up to 10 years. Mixy, 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 mixy. Use a filter when you're pouring it into your gun. The team at Segola sent me this 4600 Extreme. This is their flagship gun, so this is pretty much the best of the best that you can get on the market. I have not even tried it yet, so you guys are going to see my first reactions with spraying it. We're going to shoot at about 28 PSI. We're going to open the fluid all the way with the fan pattern open all the way. And we're going to lay 2 layers on. First layer is just a coverage layer. It doesn't need to be super thick. And then the second layer we're going to lay nice and wet, baby. You always want to paint your edges first. My God, this thing lays down paint. It's straight magic, my God. I can see why this is their flagship. The atomization, I think, is really what makes the biggest difference in these guns. I've shot with Harbor Freight a lot of my life because I've been broke. And, sorry, Harbor Freight. You don't have shit on this. Gonna lay it nice and wet, maintaining a wet edge the whole time. This thing puts down some product. Take a look at that. And that's just on our first coat. We're gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes to tack up, and then we're gonna do one more layer of clear. If you get a bug in the paint, don't stress about it. Grab a pair of tweezers and usually can pluck these bad boys off pretty quickly. Once we lay on that second layer of clear coat, you won't see that even at all. It's time to lay on our last layer of clear coat. Same steps as before. We're going to do the edges first. And this layer, we're going to lay it on just a tad thicker. This way it lays down like glass. And there you have it, boys. Stop painting over your beautiful carbon fiber. Sand it down, clear coat it, and it looks brand new. Hit that follow button and tell your mother that I love her.